And good morning. Welcome to Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First. We're live here at the Laurel Park Paddock. I'm Stanton Salter, Keith Fustel, our odds maker here. And it's a little overcast, but the sun's peeking its head out. It's going to be a beautiful Friday afternoon to kick off the three-day race weekend.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. A big weekend ahead of us, and you know this. I was talking to some guys earlier walking in. This is when it gets down to the really tough times of handicapping,
Sure.
line work, doing your homework. You know, going back and watching videos. You can unearth some nuggets now. This is when it really gets into springtime into the turf season. It's going to carry for a few months at Laurel and into the Pimlico, but looking forward to it. Just makes our jobs a little bit tougher, Stan. So no doubt.
You have a lot of horses coming back off the winter break. First race back this year, first race back on the turf. So I can imagine the challenges of making a line and trying to pick winners with horses that you're just not sure what kind of form they're in right now.
Exactly. It's a guessing game. We've got something like that, I think, on Sunday's card. And, you know, you've got horses that are running numbers, 10, 12 points consistently better, but they haven't been out in a year.
Sure.
Barn changes. What do you make of all of it? So that's what makes the game so great, so interesting. And when you kind of read between the lines and really kind of zone in on something, you can make a really, really big score.
So we have 10 live races today. We're fast and firm. We'll be on the All Along and Dahlia turf courses. We have a couple carryovers for you today. We'll get to all that. But real quick, let's tell you about tomorrow. Huge Saturday here this weekend at Laurel Park. It's the April 22nd Win and You're In. Everybody's covered. The horses are covered. Winner of the Federico Tessio presented by ExpressBet gets a gate in the 142nd Preakness Saturday, May 20th at Pimlico. And the winner of the Weber City Miss for 3-year-old fillies earns a spot in the Black-Eyed Susan Friday, May 19th at Pimlico. So the horses are covered there. And those are always two of our top prep races for the 3-year-old boys and fillies.
Absolutely. Shorter fields, but very competitive fields and anxious in the Federico Tessio with the Pletcher runner, who's kind of an up-and-comer right now. Action every day. O'Dionysus and Carradine off of a big win for Linda Rice in New York, who I think is going to take a ton of play at the windows.
Tessio always historically been a top prep for the Preakness, and the fans are covered as well. To win and you're in tomorrow for the fans. Just spin the Maryland Jockey Club prize wheel for a chance to win one of 6 pairs of tickets to Preakness Day or Black-Eyed Susan Day at Pimlico Racecourse. You get a free spin with every program purchase, and you get a prize for every spin, so you can't lose tomorrow. If you buy a program, you win a prize, and you might win tickets to Preakness Day or Black-Eyed Susan. So the horses and the fans covered tomorrow. 11 races, 5 stake races, a stellar card. Hats off to marketing, and hats off to the racing office for putting together a great card for tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. The Preakness is a really good race. The Dahlia, even the Henry Clark, all of them. Good betting races. I know those other two are a little shorter, but if you can kind of come up with a little price, to kind of maybe you might find a single in there in some of those races and take you along the lines of the pick 4s and pick 5s and pick 6s. But those turf races came up really tough too.
Well, talking about the turf race is my favorite. So tomorrow the Dahlia and Henry S. Clark. How about Talk Show Man making a comeback off a long layoff? So we'll talk more about that. Yesterday morning we were out in the barn area. We caught up with trainer Gary Capuano. He has O'Dionysus, one of the favorites in that Federico Tessio presented by ExpressBet. Let's see what Gary Cap had to say about his top 3-year-old O'Dionysus.
Well, I'm still kind of sick over it. He ran another great race like he always does. He's been beat a couple tough ones like that for some good money. So it's a little heartbreaking, but he came out of the race fine, and we're just going to move forward again. We have all out-of-towners this trip, and it always seems like they're the tough ones recently. So we're going to see if we can just move on 1 1/8, a little bit farther, and we're just moving forward with them.
And you bring up the fact that
That's trainer Gary Capuano talking about O'Dionysus by Bodemeister. And the heartbreak he was alluding to there was that tough beat in the private term stakes. The horse ran a winning race. He dueled the whole stretch with Darmaster down there on the inside. He put that horse away, and then here comes Twisted Tom on the outside to beat O'Dionysus by a whisker. But it was a solid effort from O'Dionysus.
Horse and rider probably thought they had one, and all of a sudden on the outside, just Twisted Tom got out about the 3/16 pole and just really rolled and just sniped them right at the wire.
But Gary Capuano, he's been on this stage before with a nice 3-0. Of course, 20 years ago, he was had one of the Derby favorites with Captain Bodds. He was second in the Derby, third in the Preakness. You remember that? Seems like just yesterday.
It does. It's now we're showing our age.
So Dionyse, he's a Maryland bred by Dark Hollow Farm. He's owned by Peter Angelos' Marathon Farm. So good local story. Good luck to Gary Capuano and Dionyse in the Tessio. Talking about big races, we know about the Preakness, the 142nd Preakness on May 20th. The day before is the historic Pimlico Special on Black Eyed Susan Day. Last weekend, we saw a good-looking win by Fellowship, who ran in the Preakness last year, and he was kind of flying under the radar last week, and I kind of overlooked him. But after the win, you heard everybody talking about how well the horse was working and how well he was doing. He had a very impressive win last week in a tough allowance race.
He did. Gabby hinted she thought the horse would get up at 7. I did not think 7 furlongs was really going to kind of be his distance. But, boy, he was sharp. He was into the bit, had to steady a little bit. And once he got outside, he laid a lot closer than what I thought around the turn. And he accelerated nicely 4 or 5 wide through the stretch to win going away. So that sets him up, perfectly. I don't know if they want him that close, in the special. But he was on point last weekend.
Well, trainer Kenny Decker, he shipped up here from Louisiana about a month ago. He stabled here at Laurel Park. We caught up with him yesterday morning. Here's what he had to say about Fellowship.
He ran a nice race the other day. He'd been off about 10 and a half months. Hadn't started since the Preakness last year. We gave him some time off, and he come back, and he worked real nice in Ocala before he came up, and we worked him one time here. Worked good. We expected him, if everything was good, that he would run good Sunday, and he did. Seemed to have come out of the race good. We got a few things we're looking at pointing him for. Hopefully everything he'll stay together, and we'll try to get there with him.
Is the Pimlico Special one of those options?
That is penciled in. That's one of the things that when he came, the owner wanted to try to point for. That's why we wanted to try to get in that allowance the other day, see where he was at. And so far, everything's good. He come out of it good.
So still a lot of things need to go right for the horse to continue to make progress and get to the Pimlico Special. That'll be a big step up from the allowance race, but it was a good-looking win last weekend. Steve Hamilton was aboard, and the cool thing about trainer Kenny Decker, he just took over training for Jack's or Better Farm, but he's no stranger to the horses. He's broken all these horses. That's how he got the job as a trainer. He was on the farm breaking all the horses when somebody else was training them. So he broke the sire of Fellowship. He knows all the sires and the dams of these horses. So cool story there, and a new trainer here. Keep your eye on Kenny Decker. He has a horse I like later on in today's feature, Grandy Shores. We'll show you more from Kenny Decker when we get to race 9 today. We're going to have this meet all the way through Kentucky Derby weekend. If you can't get down there to Kentucky, to Churchill Downs, you can watch the Kentucky Derby right here at Laurel Park. Triple Crown days are right around the corner. You can get $15 for one day or $35 for all 3 of the Triple Crown races here at Laurel Park in the Silks Room. Go to laurelpark.com for more information about Triple Crown days here at Laurel Park. And, of course, the big day coming up, that'll be at Pimlico when we go over there to Hi-Ho Pimlico for the 142nd Preakness Stakes, Saturday, May 20th, the middle jewel of the Triple Crown, the People's Race, the People's Party. And Preakness tickets are on sale now. All the seats sold out last year. Go to Preakness.com for your tickets and information. And, Keith, you were telling me you got some approval on the new band announced for the infield. You got some important approval on Zed.
Yeah, the late edition Zed, kind of a DJ. Yeah, I threw the name past my daughter, and she's probably, she's pretty hip on everything that's kind of right now in the music. And she said, "Yeah, Dad, yeah, good pick." So yeah, I think might help boost sales a little bit. So we'll see. Zed, I think she told me might have dated Selena Gomez for a couple days. All
right, he's all right in my book. Then Sam Hunt, he's the headliner with Zed on the main stage, and then on the DeKuyper stage, you have Good Charlotte, Low Cash, and High Valley. So that's the Budweiser Infield Fest, the biggest party of the year at the biggest race of the year, the 140. 42nd Preakness Stakes, Saturday, May 20th. It's right around the corner. Go to Preakness.com for all your tickets and information. And getting hungry? Well, Sunday brunch, always the best bet here at Laurel Park in the Garden Terrace, 12 to 4, $22 for adults, $11 for kids under 12, under 6, eat free. Unlimited Bloody Marys and mimosas for an additional price as well. Sunday brunch here at Laurel Park. Let's show you the leading jockeys and trainers here at the meet. Just a few more weeks here of this long winter-spring meet, and let's show you the leading jockeys here at Laurel Park. Leading jockey is Trevor McCarthy with 53 wins. Horacio Caramano's having a phenomenal meet, riding all those winners for Linda Rice. He's second there with 44. Toledo, Stevie Hamilton, Fergal Lynch. Tough jockey colony this meet.
Yeah, and I think the name right there that you see, Steve Hamilton, the way he just kind of come back out of a little retirement, and it's just been a force on the scene ever since. It took him a little bit to get started, but boy, he's been rolling over the last couple months.
Yeah, cool story.
Yeah.
Came off like a 10-year retirement. He's right there in the top 5 in a tough jockey colony. Trevor McCarthy's also the 4th leading jockey in the country. He's on a roll. Let's show you the leading trainers, and this is getting interesting here. Claudio Gonzalez, he's been the leading trainer the whole meet. Kieran McGee's been heating up. They're tied with 24. And don't forget about Linda Rice with that 51% winning percentage. She's only 5 wins off the leading trainer, and she's got a shot to take the title.
That's nuts. You got an out-of-town kind of an outfit that's coming in here and is only 5 off the lead. May do it. Going to be tough, but that just says something right there. But Kieran, he was laying in the weeds early. He likes to do that. He'll just jump up and get you. You never know when he's kind of lurking around the corner. But, he's just been a mainstay, he and Claudio, over the last couple of years. All
right, a couple nice carryovers to show you here this afternoon at Laurel Park. Nice carryover in this rolling super high 5. And we've been saying with the small, well, it's a playable 8-horse field in race 1. Nice carryover, a little shy of 8,000. It's a low 15% takeout in the super high 5. And with this formula we've seen before, and we'll say, there'll be 10, 20, 30,000 late money. We've been getting 60, 70,000 late money when we have a carryover like this in a playable field.
Absolutely. I would certainly think 15, 20,000 goes in this first race. You've got, 2 or 3 horses that I think most of the money is going to be centered around. That's what these bigger bettors like to do. They zero in a 1 or 2 stand, maybe key them over the field or a couple other horses, then part wheel them on down. But, I mean, I was shocked. It was the last weekend we had one? It was like 60,000
63,000.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yep. So don't sleep on the super high 5 carryover in the opener. Nice carryover also in the late pick 5 starting race 6, a little over 8,500 in that late pick 5. Both the pick 5s here at Laurel Park, your best bet with that industry low 12% takeout. Let's show you the weather conditions. We're in the 60s.
Yep.
It's a little overcast right now, but the sun's coming out. The spring air, you can smell the spring air, and hopefully the sun comes out. Let's talk about the main track. It's fast and sealed right now.
Yeah, it's probably borderline between fast and good. We'll see if they bring the harrows out and see. There's a little bit of moisture you can tell when I was walking down here to the set, still within that main track. Turf listed as good. We had some rain in the area. Had a lot north of here up at my place. I don't know how much they've got in the Laurel or D.C. area, but we got a considerable amount last night.
All right, let's get right to it here in race 1 to kick off that rolling super high 5. Nice carryover, a little shy of 8,000. Race 1 also kicks off the early pick 5 mandatory payout on that early pick 5. There's the 12% takeout for the early pick 5. I have a ticket here for the rolling super high 5. I'm going to do a $24 play here. I'll use the 2 Spoiled by God on top over the 4, 5, 8 for second, third, and fourth, and I'll hit the all button down there at the bottom. A $24 play. Nice carryover here in the rolling super high 5 in race 1. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the all-along turf course, claiming 16,000, 3 and up, never won 3. We have a video spotlight of the 2 Spoiled by God.
Okay.
My top pick for trainer Raul Garrido gets the good ride, and Carlos Carrasco, 7-pound bug boy. Here's Spoiled by God's win back in December on this turf course here at the $16,000 level. Never won 2 lifetime. He gets up in the final strides here with Jose Montano aboard. Nice 4-1 winner this day. Kind of surges late to get the money. This was his second win on the Laurel Grass. He doesn't look like he's going to get up. And then the final stride's a nice surge there.
Very determined effort. Showed a little bit more speed. Was keen and stayed closer to the pace. And talking about race one, it was just kind of a maze of a race to do the line stand. It was question marks about. I think money's still going to end up coming in, concentrating on the 8 Tambourine for Kieran, but this horse is shortening up. He's used to going much longer on the grass. Of course, Uncle Chato, big numbers last year at Santa Anita out in California. Is he going to kind of convert and bring the form? Because he's really tailed off on the dirt up at Penn National, but maybe the turf will wake him back up. But I like Spoiled by God. We've shown he doesn't like the dirt at all. He comes back to the turf, and you saw on that video he ran down a horse by the name of Red Hot Looks. Very similar to like Uncle Chato in here. It was a horse that showed speed, was dropping in class. It shown good turf form. Spoiled by God got the best of him that day. I think he comes back and gets the best of the other horse, the rest of this field today with a good stalking trip. Got a little bit of a freshening here. I think he'll be sharp. And with a barn, it's doing very well right now.
Sure, absolutely. You get the nice light weight assignment 109. I like how they have a couple dirt races under his belt this year, so he should be fit and fresh here for this race. We both like the 8 as well on the outside for the Red Hot Kieran McGee. First off the claim here for this 5-year-old. You get the leading rider Trevor McCarthy aboard. He is a winner on the grass. Not in good form recently, but he's been off since late December. He gets back on the turf today.
Out of a few key races late in the summertime, but he sat off of a duel over this turf course and still couldn't make an impact. But Kieran does so well route the sprint, and I think this horse within this field is going to be okay. He's going to have a nice, honest pace with his 4 going out to the front. Rocket Man Richie would have made things interesting on the front as well, but he is scratched the 9. Rocket Man Richie. I'm going to throw old Scrapple in. Attracts Caramanos. Caramanos on the turf course. We always say, poor Scrapple. He's riding a heck of a losing streak, but I think he can pick up a piece against this field. He's faced tougher on the grass course.
Made almost 100,000 picking up checks. So both Keith and I in agreement on the 2 Spoiled by God there in race 1. Race 2, maiden claiming 10,000, 3 and up, going 6 furlongs. I like the 6 Zimbabwe. Blinkers on here for this Grand Motion trained 4-year-old. Ashley Castrensley, the bug girl aboard. Beaten at this level last time. That was the second race off of brief freshening. A good effort that day. Gets the bug girl aboard today. 4-5, finds a soft spot here.
Is a virtual omni fig. His worst race on the dirt is still better than everybody in here. I know the one ran a 40 there before, but the blinkers go on. This horse lays closer. Going to have a little bit of a flow up in front. I think yearbook for the 3 for trainer Kenny Decker. We were talking about Kenny earlier. Ran a bang-up race last time against the kind of grain of the racetrack and held on quite well. I think he takes the field a long way. He'll have some pressure from the 8 wing fighter, but Zimbabwe is going to sit a real good stalking trip here. We'll lay closer. A strong move. Blinkers on for trainer Grand Motion. I think the 2, though, Stan, Collateral Damage has got to.
I know you like the early pick 4. I messed up here. Let's show the early pick 4 ticket here.
Fine.
Starting in the second race, and then we'll get to the field. I like your ticket there, starting off here in race 2.
Yeah, this 6 is going to be a single on a lot of people's tickets. Stand the 2 is my price shot in race 2 to get it started. 4 deep in race 3, 4 deep in race 4. I think they're both tough races. City Gold is going to take a lot of play in race 4 with Karamanos and Ferris Allen. And in race 5, another very competitive field. I think Marrakech got a price shot shortening up for trainer Marco Salazar, having a bang-up start to 2017. And old Demon Buster, I've been a fan of his. I think the class drop's going to help him today. $32. If you can take down this early favorite, you could be in for a whale of a ticket.
And the pick 4 pools have been huge recently. We've been getting a consistent 20, 30,000 put into the pick 4s. So 3 pick 4s for you this afternoon. Starting races 2, 4, and 7, I believe. So let's talk about the field. We both like those. We're cold on the early double here.
Yeah.
Garrido in the opener and Grand Motion here in race 2. Zimbabwe just looks too tough to beat.
Yeah, my price shot underneath it, and we can get to the third. Would be Collateral Damage. He counted a little bit of trouble into the turn last time. First in a new barn off of a layoff. I think this horse finished up with decent enough energy, can get a good ground-saving trip before maybe angling out. Collateral Damage, I think, will make a late run into it. Going to have to pick it up, though, if he's going to upset the heavy favorite.
We like the same 4 horses there with the same horse horse on top. Zimbabwe going to be a heavy favorite. Maybe key that horse in the year. You're going
I think
with
he's going to be a single. I'm going to throw him as a price shot just in case the favorite falters.
Yeah, ran a good race last first start in the barn for Kate Dibbon. She's a good trainer. Second off the layoff, you get 7 pounds off. So, and if you can beat a 4 to 5 shot in that first leg of the Pick Four, then you're sitting on a nice ticket. Let's turn the page here. Race 3, claiming 16,000. Never won 3 lifetime. Going 6 furlongs. Video spotlight here on the 4, Slick William from the Dorothy Wharton barn.
Another good, tight race. Tough race to line, tough race to handicap. But Slick William, a good race first off the claim for Wasabi Venture Stables, LLC. Next time out, a little trouble. Was playing the condition game correctly, but we're going to notice this horse, the 2 horse that day, kind of break okay, and then gets kind of caught in a little bit of a jackpot in between horses. Down the backstretch, leaving the 5/8. You see jockey Lane Leslie having the steady there. And then once again, this horse kind of regroups, kind of caught inside of horses. And this horse wants to start picking up the pace again, has to steady again, nearing the 3/8 pole. He's showing run. And Flight Crew, on a day that handled, that was pretty kind to speed, was able to control it up front. Right there, you see him again, have to steady, nearing the 3/8. And that was enough. Drop back off of it, shifted out, and makes a good valiant effort to close up 5 or 6 lengths to the final 1/8 of a mile. Flight Crew, as we said, controlled it every step of the way. Slick William, trouble in 2 critical spots. If he avoids traffic into the far turn, I think he can settle mid-pack, maybe 3 or 4 lengths off the lead. I don't think he's going to be that far off of it. There's not a lot of true speed in this race. He'll make a good grinding run and get up, manage the right way. Claim for 10, you win that next spot. Last time out for March 18th, that was a good spot just in counter trouble. I like to move back in here for the tag. That's the way you handle a claimer. Slick William from just off of it.
Well, I know why you don't like my top pick here, because it looks like Bobcat just going in the wrong direction. He fell apart in that allowance race last out, taking a big class drop here for Dale Capuano. They were very high on this horse as a 3-year-old. Won by 10 in the debut last year. Came back, won an allowance race. He ran okay 2 starts ago in an allowance race at Charlestown. A good second that day. Just didn't run at all last time. Went to the front and just packed it in. Taking a big drop today, so maybe that's cause for concern. But I'll go with him in this level to see if he can wake back up.
Certainly likes Laurel. 2 for 3, as you say. Won his first 2 starts. He's outside. He is the controlling speed. It looks like. I think he'll have to deal with the 3 legal punch. Gavin Street Sense was taking a rating hold of last time. Will he go ahead and send from the inside? But Bobcat, that's the one thing I harp on a lot, and time again, we've seen it. 2 good races on the dirt. Let's go ahead and throw him on the turf. What'd he do? He went off form, right?
Yep.
I don't train horses for a living, but as a handicapper, seeing this move, I don't want to, rag, but I don't understand it. If you're running well on a surface, stay on it. For years we've seen it. Guys have talked about it up in the press box, and he this is now the move to hopefully get him back on track, down for the tag. So that's it.
All right, I'll give Bobcat one more shot here in this race. We both agree on the 2 and the 4. I'll throw the 3 in there as well. Legal punch for trainer Paulina Sniffia. Get the Angel Soares aboard a sharp second last out at a comparable level back in early March up there at Penn.
Yeah, keys up. I think it's a little softer group. I think he'll take play because of that 71 buyer figure. The winner was a McMahon horse. Has come back and run okay here. Big Joe Candy, a 66. Certainly going to be a pace factor, I think, much of the way in this race.
All right, let's roll through race 4 real quick here. We got 10 races today.
That's
sneaking up on it. I smell breakfast over there, too. You smell that breakfast? It smells good. All right, race 4 kicks off the middle. Pick 4. We're going a flat mile on the all-along turf course here, claiming 16,000, 3 and up, never won 2 lifetime. Let's start with the 1. City Gold is going to be my top pick here from the Ferris Allen barn. The Ferris Allen barn's been heating up as of late, having a nice meet here, 20% at the meet. This horse is proven 0 for 9 on the grass. I see that, but I think it's been running good enough. Recently had a sharp maiden win finally last out, or 2 starts ago, early January here at Laurel Park. He's run some decent races on the turf last year as a maiden. I think finds a cozy spot here. Horacio Caramano should get a ground-saving trip from the inside.
How about that trip they got the other day, Ferris's horse, Shirley's Curls, with Trevor? I don't think I've ever seen a horse pretty much from start to finish going long, have the rail, and never have to worry about any traffic.
Came right
got
up
all
there.
the way through and got the job done. Really nice ride there. City Gold, though, Figs work, much stronger than this field for the most part. Will he come back to form on the grass? Of course, he probably will. He's going to be a short price. I'll try to beat him with a stranger, the 5 Rodon. Here's my move, though. Get you going talking about, dirt to turf, running well in the dirt. But early in her career, that was kind of the saving thing, I guess you could talk about for the favorite in that prior race, Bobcat. So you give him a little bit of a pass, looking for a better price. Second Dam was a 4-time turf winner. We've seen the rock slides. They're okay on the grass, but finally put it all together on the dirt. Just looking for a little bit better price here for Gary Cap.
And Gary
he
Cap,
does well to, dirt to turf. His turf,
absolutely.
Turf ROIs are all pretty much solid.
Going dirt to turf with a nice positive ROI, 15% first time on the turf. So loves the turf racing too. Turf specialist. He sometimes you'll see horses they'll end up in these races because maybe the dirt race didn't go, and then they got a if into the turf, and they'll hem and haul, and then they win.
Then they win.
So what are they hemming and hauling about? So I like the 5 Rodon in there as well. Let's get a quick commercial break. We're getting short on time. When we come back, the Rainbow Pick 6 starts in race 5, and we have a nice carryover in that late pick 5, a little over 8,500 starting in race 6. We'll be right back.
At ExpressBet, we celebrate the champions who make horse racing great. That's why we provide more ways to bet from more places than ever. We've built an entire family of brands to support horse racing, to give players more of the rewards they deserve, give bettors the information they need to win, and provide a community for horse bettors. Because the best way to support the champions of horse racing is to champion horse racing. ExpressBet. We are racing.
Welcome back today at the races presented by Fidelity First. We're live here at the Laurel Park paddock. The birds are chirping. The sun is coming out. We're on a good turf course today on the All Along in the Dahlia turf courses today. The main track is fast, listed as fast. It's sealed right now. We'll see how it plays out throughout the afternoon. I have a pick 6 ticket starting here in race 5. How about the lucky pick 6 player last Sunday hitting it on Easter Sunday for a little over 21,000?
That'll get you some candy, huh?
Wow. So here's my. I'll go big here on the first day, getting this pick 6 going again. Sometimes when the pick 6 just starting out, they're only putting 2,000-3,000 into it. You get all 6 winners, even if it's formful. You can get a nice $1,500, $2,000 signer. So I'll go with the $72 play here in my pick 6, going 5 deep here in race 5. Then 3 horses in races 6 and 7. Then I couldn't find a single, so I'll go 2 deep there in races 8, 9, and 10. You can see all of our tickets on the laurelpark.com website. Let's take a look here. Race 5, starter allowance, optional claimer, 16,000 going 7 furlongs, and I'll go with the 9 on the outside. Demon Buster. We have a video spotlight here. Can Demon Buster get back into good form today? Dropping into this starter allowance, 16,000. Here's Demon Buster winning a 2 other than allowance race last July here at Laurel Park. This was a tough race. He comes with a nice rally on the outside with Edgar Prado aboard. The Hall of Famer Edgar Prado back in town. He's going to be riding Demon Buster again today for Jose Corrales. So Demon Buster, a 2-time winner here at Laurel Park. Oh, what have you been doing recently, Demon Buster? Let's get back in good form here, breaking from the outside in the soft spot.
Agreed. A little freshening, and there's no Stolen Loves, Negritos, Canamaricos in this field. This is definite class relief. The attack mode, he's 6 years old. He's only had 13 starts, makes his 14th start today. He can kind of track and go on with it. I think he's going to have a target to run at with Flight Crew, Magritte, Hickory Hill, all with some honest pace. Hickory Hill might get the jump on him. I think Demon Buster and even Marrakech, the 4, we're going to go quick here, but I think this horse turning back in distance is in sharp form. Run against the likes of 2 Cuban Brothers, you down at Tampa out of those 2 other than. Liked him a lot last time. I think you're going to get a better price today on the 4. He makes a strong move from off the pace.
The barn, Marco Salazar quietly having a nice meet here. 25% winners. All his horses been running well, so I use them in my top 4. We both agree on the 7 as well. Hickory Hill's in good form for trainer Mike Girales, a 3-time winner here at Laurel Park. He's won 2 of his last 3. A good third with a wide trip last out at this level.
Yeah, if he holds. 7 furlongs a real kind of a question mark. Flight Crew got away with a softer early pace last time and then kicked on a fairly speed-favoring track. But Flight Crew's shown he's kind can kind of come from just off of it. I think there's going to be, kind of a log jam up top once they turn for home. Unless Hickory Hill can really throw the knockout punch by the quarter pole, I think it's going to be lined up for a closer like Demon Buster or Marrakech.
All right, so we're in agreement here. That's a nice. We'll get a nice 9-2 price because the Demon Buster hasn't been running too well recently.
Yeah.
You get the Hall of Famer Edgar Prado. Race 6 kicks off the late pick 5. Nice carryover today. They're going to attack this over 8,500 in the carryover. Industry low, 12% takeout. You like the late pick 5 today?
It's tough. It is really, really. You're going to have to earn it. I'd have to get together with a couple guys to throw a bigger ticket. I think it's an investment, a minimum $80 to $100. But take the shot because the money's going to be driven into that pool. It's going to be well worth it.
We'll start out race 6. We're on the Dahlia turf course going 5.5 furlongs with the rail at 52 feet. Maiden claiming 16,000. Big field, soft group. I'll take a shot with a first-time starter on the outside. The 12, Angel Geo by Turf Sire Giopani. The Dam by Richter Sales. She was 0 for 2. There's not much there pedigree-wise. Yomar Ortiz gets aboard. Good journeyman rider for trainer J.B. Secor. Now, we've seen over the years J.B. Secor do very, very well with his turf runners. He's a good trainer up there in Moncton. This is his time of year, Grand National Mail and Hunt Cup time of year. He used to win those races and then party with his cousins all night long. But a good trainer on the turf. I'll go with the 12, Angel Geo, at a big price in debut.
You see, we're all over the map. In race 6. Major Anthem, a deep closers, had a lot of shots, 0 for 28, but there's some questionable speed types up front. I do think he's going to make an impact late. I'll take a shot with the 11, Loco Notion, freshened up since October, showed blazing speed back in September in the first day dash. At Delaware, 21 and 245, really fast. This horse is regroup, ready to go. Was a half to a sprinter by the name of Well Lit Stan, who was 4 for 6 sprinting on the turf. We've seen the Great Notions; they can handle it. I think this horse is going to be okay off the layoff.
All right, you'll get a nice price for a good barn there, top rider. So I can't talk you off that one. You have the 4 in your exacta Circle of Light. Bug Girl aboard here for trainer Mark Reed. The first turf experiment, I was going a mile.
Yeah.
This horse has been showing some speed on the main track down in Tampa.
Yeah, a little bit more speed. I'm hoping he can kind of show that today, kind of a stalking trip with the Lasix on. Bob Shakespeare, certainly, bred for the turf. He was 7 for 8 life, I think, with a multiple grade 1 winner. So Circle of Light, I think, will be okay from somewhere from mid-pack. He'll have a target. Flankenstein, he's been frustrating on the main track. He's going to be part of the pace flow as well.
The 2 Major Anthem has run some good races in the past. He tailed off towards the end of last year. He's been freshened since then. If he can get back to some of those races, we saw him run against Maiden Special Weight Company, Maiden 40. He crushes this field. However, he's an over 28 5-year-old maiden, so that's why you'll get a nice price.
Yep. I think he could drift down a little bit off of that morning line, but I've chased him a lot. Old Major Anthem.
All right, so a wide open maiden turf sprint there in race 6 to kick off the late pick 5 with that nice carryover. Race 7, a nice 3-year-old filly allowance race. Optional claiming 50,000, going 6 furlongs on the main track. I love a horse in here.
Okay.
Let's start though with the horse you like, the 4 She's Stunning. A good second against Allowance Company last out here at Laurel Park.
Yeah, a little video spotlight that day. Had some trouble. She's Stunning, the 2-horse. Broke well, was into a little bit of a traffic jam into the far turn as a stroll in the park, was able to kind of get out on the lead and dictate for trainer Larry Jones. Right there, just enough. Into a decent internal, 23, then a half of 46 and 2. You've got a loose horse. That was Haley Slip, who we're going to see today having to deal with that. So a lot of trouble. What I like is this horse is able to kind of regroup, split horses with a good middle move, but a stroll in the park just a little too good right now. This horse went on to win a stakes at Mahoning Valley with a big number, somewhere in the higher 80s. She's Stunning. The 6 furlongs hits her right in the head. She's going to be probably your favorite in this race. That's good enough, guys. I know we're short on time. She fits well with the 6 furlongs. That's a little upset. Maybe the 5, little habit of mine. Just didn't run a step last time. A little bobble with the break, a slight excuse, but they hold the level. This horse a really good eye-catching maiden score in the debut back in February, beating Anio Sandy, who came back to run a good race. A little weekend was in there for Tim Keefe, who came back to run big, a lower 70. I think little habit of mine regroups today and pulls a mild upset for trainer Hamby Smith. I think this is time this is Hammy's time. He's going to start heating up.
Absolutely. Maybe just a little bounce in that allowance race off the sharp maiden when they put the blinkers on. She's been freshened since then. I like the 5 Little Habit of Mine a lot. I'll use that one in my exacta. But I'm going to go with the 8 Super Trend on top. This was a good-looking debut win. Let's show you the stretch drive here for Super Trend in her debut. March 11th, it was a tough maiden special weight field. She went off 3-1, had to break from the 1 hole in her debut. That's a tough assignment. But she got right to the front down the backstretch and won by an impressive length and a half. She's by Yes It's True out of the Colonial Affair mare Lake and Heath. The dam was a monster. She won 6 races over a $500,000. This filly's a full sister to the Truth or Else, who made over a $500,000. Trevor McCarthy gets aboard here. You get a better outside post. I thought that was a good-looking debut performance by the 8 Super Trend.
Yeah, and don't let that fool you. A lot of times they'll just base everything on one race. Oh, that horse needs the lead. No, maybe that horse was just good enough, naturally was gifted enough, got the lead, and did it from a tough inside post. This horse certainly could rate. I don't think she's as fast early as the one Little Firefighter with the blinkers on last time on that sloppy sealed surface. 22 flat the opening quarter for this 3-year-old filly. That was faster than the Pulse. That was faster than Liar's Dice. The road's going to go through her if she breaks well. But as you said, Super Trend looks like she may not necessarily need to lead it. She kind of won it with something in reserve there at the end. She was a comfortable length winner. It's a really, really good race, this little filly, 3-year-old filly allowance. Real good race.
I can see Haley Slip getting just draw a line for that last fiasco, but this was she was a nice filly last year. As a 2-year-old, she was second in a stake race last September. She could get back in good form, I think, today. Well, keep that good form. Just throw out the last race with the rider coming off. But she was in good form last year as a 2-year-old. So a nice 3-year-old filly allowance race there to kick off the late pick 4 in race 7. We get back out to the Dahlia Turf Course, race 8, going a mile with the rail at 52 feet. Maiden claiming $25,000 for 3 and up, and I'll go with another first-time starter on top here, the 10 Sam Book. This 4-year-old by Dahar out of a Galileo mare. That's some nice turf there. This guy's a half to Kasuzi, who made almost $100,000. Mike Pino, I like the trainer. Gets Horacio Caramanos to take the call in debut. I like the outside post here. I'll go with the 10 Sam Book, my top pick here.
Doesn't look like any Stone Cold Killers. I know we got about 3 minutes to do 3 races, Dan. I like the 2 Tennessee Wildcat. Twirling Candy, we saw one of those win the other day, I believe, for Gary Cap, that maiden last weekend. 18% with the first when they hit the turf for the first time. This horse is going to be okay. I think the Damn Susan's Wildcat was 6 for 11 in the money in some good races out in California. Tennessee Wildcat, they don't really quit on her. Hold her at the level at 25. She's up or near the pace the entire way. He's going to have to beat Pearson Ader, going the reported first-time gelding for Hugh McMahon, and the one Papa Pablo, who's kind of had some interesting, tougher trips in Florida. I think regrouped a little bit off a little freshening. He's going to be the one to beat.
I know on my pick 6 ticket somehow I'm only 2 deep in this race, but go deeper than that if you're playing
if you can
the late pick 5.
Yeah, I would.
In the Rainbow pick 6. So a wide open maiden affair there in race 8. We have a nice feature of the day. What a monster race this is. Upper level 3 other than allowance race. Optional claiming $32,000 going 7 furlongs. We saw Kenny Decker, who was flying under the radar last week, and he's not flying under the radar anymore.
No.
He got the money with Fellowship, and he might get the money here with the 4 Grandy Shores coming off the layoff. This 9-year-old's made over $600,000. 15 for 18 in the money, going 7 furlongs with 6 wins. That's what caught my eye. Look at the work pattern here at Laurel Park. A couple works here at Laurel Park. A sharp 5 furlong work on April 9th, and then a sharp bullet work on a half mile, 47 and 2, April 15th. Here's what trainer Kenny Decker had to say about his 9-year-old Grandy Shores.
Doing real well. He's another horse. He had a little time off since Churchill. We've gotten him up here. He's had a couple of nice works over the racetrack. Looks like he's back, coming back to himself, and we'll see tomorrow. Hopefully, if he's back, he's the type of horse. He might be able to hit some of these small, stakes around the area and stuff. But we'll see tomorrow.
Getting all settled in here at Laurel Park?
Yes, sir. When we came up, it was cold, but it's starting to get nice around here, and this is a nice barn. We're in a good area. Horses are settling in good, and we're kind of getting our feet wet a little bit and seeing where we need to be, and we're going to be here.
Nice Cajun guy from Louisiana, probably knows Dave Rodman, Kenny Decker getting settled in here.
Watching that interview, I'm thinking I'm never going to sit down at a poker table with this guy. He's as calm as a cucumber. Just, you don't know whether he's coming or going, give me this, give me that. But, yeah, good stuff. He's done a nice job. These horses kind of moved up in the barn. But, yeah, you might want to fear dropping them for 32. They say that the horse might be ready for stakes.
Yeah.
Take it for what it's worth. Read with what you want. But certainly working for him. He loves the 7 furlongs. I'm going to use them. I hope I didn't, miss the wedding there with Fellowship and go to the funeral today with Granny Shores. But I'm going to use this horse in the mix, the old 9-year-old. I think another horse, No Distortion for Larry Jones, is going to be tough. Fresh Firing Bullets at Delaware and the Fairgrounds. Reported first-time gelding. Kept okay company. He's a 3-year-old. I think the 7 furlong is going to be a good distance for him. And Double Whammy, the one who's going to take a lot of play. This is a really difficult race to line as well, Stan. I think you could settle in with like a 3-1 favorite. Double Whammy, threw the knockout punch into the far turn in that A other than optional the other day. I think the flow, though, is going to be a little bit trickier for him at 7 furlongs as opposed to a mile. He loves his track. Will he come back to earth off of that 94 buyer? I don't know. It was an eye-catching move last time. But this is a little bit tougher group, no doubt about it.
Gets the dreaded 1 hole going 7 furlongs. I almost picked the horse on top, but breaking from the 1 hole, Caramano is going to have to have his thinking cap on. If the horse breaks sharp, then maybe go on with it. If he doesn't break sharp, well, then he might find himself in some traffic early on down the backstretch. So a very nice upper-level allowance feature of the day there in race 9 to kick off the late daily double. Race 10 is wide open. I normally don't make my best bets in maiden races or 2 life races, but I did here today in race 10 going a mile on the all along. This is claiming 16,000, everyone 2 lifetime. It looked to me like the 2 determined kind of laid over the field for trainer Michael Stidham. You get Mitch Muro aboard, who's in town riding at Delaware in Maryland this year. The horse ran decent back in December at the Fairgrounds against Maiden Special Weight Company. Showed speed that day and faded, only beaten 3.5 lengths, and then went right to the front and won the Maiden Special Weight at Sam Houston in February. Now, Maiden Special Weight at Sam Houston, not that tough, but the horse ran decent enough at in that Fairgrounds race last December. He's been working well up there at Delaware on the training track, and then most recently on the main track at Delaware, a bullet workout, 5 furlongs up there, a minute and 3. So I like that move. I like the inside post. I think Muro goes right to the front and tries to keep on going here with the 2 determined.
Well, to me, it looks like he's got a major for sale sign on him, dropping in for $16,000, a $210,000 purchase Malibu Moon here. Had to go to Sam Houston. He got it done. Was life and death at 1 to 9 or 10 cents. I got to go elsewhere. I'll use him. I think he's going to get a little bit of a pressure, but I think he might be heading to another home after today's finale. I think Forever Bernardini, another questionable, trying to pick the horse's head up. I think he faced much better back on the grass late fall into the winter. Silver Romeo, he ran close in an allowance race the other day, if I'm not mistaken, Stan. I know he's 0 for 3, but his numbers are good enough, and this is the right spot to pick his head up here. But the determined scares me. I just – that move down to 16. He may have one more left in him. We'll see.
I really don't know why I left the 8 Forever Bernardini out. I was going over my picks earlier this morning with Mike Petro, and he looked at the race. And you don't like the 8 Forever Bernardini, and has a good point. So do you. The horse was running decent last year against better company. I think I saw the 0 for 3 turf and then looked elsewhere, but was running well in allowance races, starter allowance races. Finds an easier spot today, and the horse has a couple dirt races under his belt, so should be fit here for this race. So nice 10-race card today. Couple nice carryovers. Best of luck. Huge day tomorrow. Go to laurelpark.com for all the information. Speaking of nice Cajun guys, we got one of the best in the business, Dave Rodman, coming up next with all of today's scratches and changes. Good luck.
Good luck.